all over at Emirates Stadium. Arsenal win Group A in the Europa League and therefore avoid that additional round, which is obviously fantastic news. The schedule has been a hard one, it's been a difficult one so far this season, and thankfully for the Gunners, they don't have to face one of the Champions League teams in a playoff now as a result of getting over the line tonight. They weren't great, it wasn't pretty. You've got to say, for large periods, it was a really poor game of football. It wasn't enjoyable, and it's not one that will live long in the Arsenal faithful's memories. The highlight was probably the FC Zurich fans in that far corner. They have been brilliant this evening. Pyrotechnics, singing all night, bouncing in the clock end. They've been fantastic. They've supported their team in great numbers and with great passion. Really, really good to see when great fans come to Emirates Stadium. But let's focus on Arsenal. Let's focus on what this means. It means a lot. You know, people will say it doesn't really matter if you win the group or not. People will say that as long as you get through, that's what it's all about. But for me, this was huge in this season of all seasons, where the schedule is hectic, where the schedule is jam-packed. We know that this squad is not the biggest, and we know that we still lack quality depth in so many areas. You saw the drop-off in performance level again tonight. Mikel Arteta has made changes in these Europa League games, and for the most part, we've got away with it. But at PSV last week, we were well under par. We were nowhere near good enough. And tonight, in periods, we weren't good enough either. It just goes to show you that the quality beyond those first team players, when you take Odegaard out, when you take Xhaka out, when you take Partey out, just to name a few examples, the drop-off is still significant. You know, I guess that's the way Arsenal wanted to do it. They wanted to strip it back. They wanted to rebuild, and obviously you build a first team before you build the depth. But it feels like we need to get moving with the depth pretty soon if we're going to maintain where we are currently. I don't think Arsenal are going to win the Premier League. I've said that to you 1,000,001 times. But if we're going to stay towards the top end of the table and consolidate a Champions League position, you feel like, judging on the last couple of performances in this competition, that we need to go out there and strengthen in just a couple of areas. Kieran Tierney obviously got the goal tonight, and it proved to be the winning goal. And what a fantastic strike it was. There's been a lot of debate around him lately. There's been a lot of debate around whether or not he should be playing in the Premier League. He hasn't been of late. He's been overlooked and he's been preferred. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Tomiyasu has been preferred to him, which has raised a lot of eyebrows. But he's come into the team tonight. He was probably Arsenal's best player on the night. I thought he defended brilliantly throughout, and he got forward to really good effect with the goal, obviously being the standout moment. But yeah, look, we've done it. I mean, this is not a game that we're going to be talking about for days. This is not a game that we're going to be looking back on with fond memories. It is very much one where we got the job done, we got over the line, and we march on. We can park the Europa League now, focus back on the Premier League, make sure that we finish on a high just before the World Cup competition, of course, begins. And we'll see where we are when we come back. You know, hopefully everyone's fit, hopefully everyone's firing, and we can continue the momentum and we can continue the push. But yeah, look, not a cracker tonight, not the greatest game, not the greatest Arsenal performance, but as I say, job done. The Gunners progress as group winners, and at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. The full-length podcast will not be with you tonight because I'm going to get home at God knows what time. So I will be doing that bright and early tomorrow morning. So stay tuned. Make sure your notifications are turned on. All the best. Cheers.